Was supposed to be here. She called me about a half an hour ago. Unfortunately, her whole crew is down with COVID, and unfortunately, she will not be able to make it. She sends her condolences, so we will just move forward in the program. Now, as I said, the program is pretty filled today. What I want, we're going to do dinner pretty early at about 5:30. We're going to start, of course, with Winston and Winston and Darryl, the Panis. Meal is going to be served pretty early, about 4:35, and my chef has already called and he's on his way. He's very prompt. Greg doesn't miss. He comes right on time, so he'll be here pretty much at 4:30 to deliver the meals. And what I want during the mealtime, the MC will take over. We do have the book table over there. We also have the auction table over there. We also have the fish and bird section over here, and this is Kai, because part of the Zoom program that we did with New Horizons was also to introduce pets to seniors and children, and hence that's why Kai is here, because one of our easy pets that we introduced for seniors to have was, in fact, fish and birds. So, yeah. Hi, Ann. I see you got here. All right. So that's pretty much it. I will be back later on to kind of give towards the end to give you some feedback on why we're doing fundraising for seniors and going to more of what my business and fundraising portfolio is. And again, I want to thank you so much for making it out this evening and for the wonderful support. I want to thank Tropicana. It's a beautiful place. I mean, I am so happy when I come into this place that I'm a Caribbean person, because let's just say there's JCA, but Tropicana has managed to get the funding to really have a beautiful community center here, and that's why I really wanted to take the time to support them in this endeavor. And I think it's kind of central for people coming from different areas to get here. But you can certainly give me your feedback at the end of the day as to what you thought of this room and this venue that we chose this time. So again, thank you again for the evening. I'm going to move on to the program. So we're going to have Winston and Darryl take over, Hannes and Singer. And I can give you a little feedback. Winston has been singing for many, many years with choirs. I didn't do a portfolio of him. I'm going to say if I did a portfolio for Winston, it would be the entire evening. So what I'm going to say, when we have dinner, move around and talk and get to know people. That's what I prefer, the personal touch. There's so many of us here with different skills. So connect with people. That's why it's a lovely small group for people to connect. So do that, and we're going to get started with the program. Thanks again. I am Ingrid. I didn't say who I am, writer and owner of Genie Home Services. Thank you so much.
Coconut like a lion, make you strong like a lion. All right. You probably forgot that, right? You're perfect now. You think you can try now? Well, let's try. You can just beat it. Coconut woman is calling out, and everywhere I can hear her shout. Coconut woman is calling out, and every day you can hear her shout. Get your coconut water, and it's good for your daughter. Coconut like a lion, make you strong like a lion. Yes, you come in with coconut now, right? You come in with, when I say that, you come in with the words of coconut, alright? Then try to remember. A lady told me the other day, no one can take her sweet man away. A lady told me the other day, no one can love it or man away. and it's good for your daughter. Coconut like an iron, make you strong like a lion. Coconut woman says you agree. Coconut make very nice candy. Coconut woman says you agree. Coconut makes very nice candy. Get your coconut water, and it's good for your daughter. Coconut water, good for your daughter. Coconut water, and it's good for your daughter. Coconut. So the little one says something about Liza. Liza is a typical Jamaica name. Liza. Well, for those of you who are a little older, not that I know of that, I was just a teenager a few years ago. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just a few years ago, you know what I mean? But you remember a little show we used to have with Louise Bennett and Ronnie Williams? And you remember the third person on that little show? What was she called?
My grandmother, no, she's from the Nether. Louise's grandmother, Auntie Rochi.
Well, Louise herself talk about Auntie Rochi or aunt or something like that. But you remember the person who was on that show with them? A lady named Liza. Maud Fuller, remember that? Ah, you probably didn't know that. Alright, here's a little song that talks about Liza. Alright? It's called Every Time You Think of Liza, Water Come on the Eye. Remember that song? Every time I'm away from Liza, water come on me eye. Every time I'm away from Liza, water come on me eye. Come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. Come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. I remember when love was new, water come on me eye. There was one, but now there's two. Water come on me eye. Oh, come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. Come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. When the evening start to fall, water come on me eye. I need to hear my Liza's call. Water come on me eye. Oh, come back, Liza, come back, girl. Water come on me eye. Come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. Standing there in the marketplace, water come to me eye. Soon I'll feel her warm embrace. Water come to me eye. Oh, come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. Come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tears from me eye. Now I'm going to ask you to sing that. I'm going to ask you to sing that. All right? You know. All right, here we go. Come back, Liza, come back. That's the chorus. All right, here we go. Come back, Liza, come back. Oh, come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. Come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. Standing there in the marketplace, water come to me eye. Soon I'll feel her warm embrace. Water come to me eye. So come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. Come back, Liza, come back, girl. Wipe the tear from me eye. In the at certain time, especially when the team is behind and they want to rev up the team a little bit and they want to get something, you will hear a voice there. It's in every baseball game. You hear, Dano! Baseball, listen to the baseball game, you always have, all of a sudden you just, Dano! Dano! And then the team gets all excited and stuff. We're going to try that. I don't know where it's going to go, but we're going to try it. All right? Day-o, day-o, daylight come and we want to go home. Day is a day, 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 oh. Daylight come and we want to go home. Work all night on a drink of rum. Daylight come and we. All right, you're gonna sing that part. All right, I'm gonna allow you to sing that after every line. That daylight come and we want to go home. Right? I want you to sing that. All right, let's try it. Work all night and a drink of rum. Stack banana till the morning come. Come, Mr. Tallyman, carry me banana. Come, Mr. Tallyman, carry me banana. This 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. I will tell you a little story about that. Now, when this song was written some years ago, Harry Belafonte, who is still alive, I believe, he's 95. Harry Belafonte is 95. What a publicity for Jamaica. You know, everybody all over the world knows Harry Belafonte. So he collaborated with Louise Bennett. Both of them collaborated. And he was singing a song, they like, what was it, 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. And Louise Bennett looked at him and said, no, that's not how the song was written. It says 6 hand. So Harry Belafonte counted and said, well, if I say 6 hand, 7 hand, people will know that. They know 6 foot. They know 6 foot, 7 foot, whatever it is, and no foot. They don't know 6 hand. All we know about is 2 hands. So we don't know 6 hand. When Saturday morning comes. So okay, if you want to do something for me, as I say, you're going to write down. Just collaborate with everybody else and write down some titles, some love songs. And we're going to see if we can sing that tonight. On the banyan tree, you like that, eh? Good. So this song, there's a little song that I like. I like musicals. I like musicals. I've always been to, pantomime, and we always go to all the shows that come with the Wall Theatre and so forth and so on. I love musical. And I remember seeing a musical, and there was a little song in there that was a love song. Anybody familiar with the musical called South Pacific? South Pacific? You familiar? South Pacific, yes. So nobody familiar with that. Well, I'm going to sing a little song from South Pacific, and I think you will recognize the song. All right? I think you will recognize this song. Let's find it here. This song. Remember that song? Remember that song? You know that song? Sun Enchanted Evening. picture, say the two people are involved. It was a very romantic scene. I can just picture it. And the guy was so good. He sang that thing so beautifully. And every time I hear it, I want to sing it. You know? It goes like this. Some enchanted evening, you may see a stranger. You may see a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow you know even then, that somehow you'll see her again and again. Some enchanted evening, someone may be laughing. You may hear her laughing across a crowded room. And night after night, as strange as it seems, the sound of her laughter will sing in your dreams. Who can explain it? Who can tell you why? Fools give you reason, wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, when you find your true love, when you hear her call you across a crowded room, then fly to her side and make her your own, or all through your life you may dream all alone. Once you've found her, never let her go. Once you have found her, never let her go.
I am so honored that Ingrid was kind enough to include me in this incredible and wonderful opportunity for seniors. My name is Rani Pirapan and I'm from South Africa. I was born in Johannesburg, lived through the apartheid system, and if any of you know what the apartheid system was, it was one of the most horrible times in our life. My grandfather was taken to South Africa once the slavery was over. They took the Dutch East India Company decided that they needed workers, so they went to India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and a few other places and brought indentured laborers. My grandfather came, one of my grandfathers came as an indentured laborer. The other one was, both my grandfathers, maternal and paternal, were indentured laborers. But my maternal grandfather was taken to Mauritius, and of course he met my grandmother in Mauritius and married her and then came to South Africa. Because what they would do is if they didn't have enough people to work in the sugarcane farms, like in Durban in South Africa, in Mauritius and the West Indians, the diaspora. So what they do is they would just transport them, telling them as indentured laborers, you can go back to your country anytime you want to. We will send you back. But of course it never worked out because they eventually they were just a little better than the slaves. But they lived a very, very difficult lives in South Africa. Well, when the apartheid system, and a little bit of the history, I'll just give you a snapshot so you can have an idea of how it worked out. the, uh, the government of South Africa decided that they were going to come to Canada, which I just discovered very recently because my daughter is working in diversity, and they found out that the Canadian government was doing had a reservation. So what they did, they came here, they met the government of Canada at that time, and decided that they were going to do the apartheid system in South Africa. Everything was going well, we were segregated, we knew we couldn't go here, we couldn't go there, we couldn't get into buses. But in 1945, they made it a law. And the law was that we as Indians were sent to a place called Lenasia in Johannesburg. The Africans were sent to Soweto, which was Southwestern Territory. And then, of course, they had the colors who were the mixed race, and they went to another place called Bosmont. So the thing is, we were separated, and you could not live in any of those places. You can't say, oh, I saw a house there, maybe I can rent it. No, you were destined to be in your own country. So life in South Africa was very, very difficult. When I came to Canada in 1970, I was just, thought, okay, one day I don't want to go back to South Africa. I hated the country, I hated the language, which was Afrikaans, and we were forced to learn Afrikaans in South Africa at our schools. Anyway, I went back in 2001 because we still had family, my grandmother was still alive. When I got back to South Africa, 2001, not 81, 2001 when I went back, I was just totally amazed at what we were missing in South Africa. We were missing get-togethers with different nationalities. We were missing going to schools. We were missing, we couldn't buy property, we couldn't vote, so we had no rights at all in South Africa. But what the government did, they made sure that the system was called the apartheid, so it was Indians, coloreds and Africans, and of course the whites were the top. And the thing is, when you were a colored or an Indian, you had a little bit of leeway. You got a little bit more money because you were a nurse. I'm a registered nurse and a midwife, and then I got this little extra money. But can you imagine me working with a black nurse who was my colleague, is getting less money than me, doing the same thing what I did? But that was to build the division between the three races, because if we had combined together, South Africa would never have gone on so long with the apartheid system. Well, thank God we had somebody like Nelson Mandela, who was our icon, who did everything wonderful and made a difference. So when I say that when I went back to South Africa, I fell in love with it, I literally did fall in love with the country that I didn't think I would ever go back to. Now, for the last 10 years, I've been doing, taking people to South Africa because I'm so proud of the country. It's so beautiful. It just amazes you that when you drive by and we had more swimming pools in the white area than they had in Los Angeles. Can you imagine? Every second home had a swimming pool, but we couldn't go to a swimming pool. We couldn't have a home. We lived in very, very dire circumstances. I'm sorry, I don't mean to go on like this, but the thing is, I just thought a snapshot of what South Africa was like. But when you go now, it's so nice because you see young African kids working in hotels and restaurants. You see people who are educated. We've got a very big middle-class African people, and things have changed radically in South Africa. And South Africa has got third world problems, but it is a first world country. Now, I'm so passionate about it mainly because of the fact that every time I take people, they come back and they say, wow, it is so beautiful, it was lovely. We do safaris, we do culture, we do history. And the people that I have been very lucky and very fortunate to take with me was Jean Augustine came on a trip with me in 2010. Joan Pierre traveled with me. I don't know if any of you know Joan Pierre. Lloyd McKell traveled with me. I've taken people to South Africa. I've taken about maybe 100 people over the past few years. So I'm just asking you all, open your minds and think about Africa. Africa is not the dark continent. Africa is booming. Africa is there, and Africa is going to spread. It's 52 countries, and they talk about Africa as the continent of Africa as if it's nothing. It's like South America, but it's got. There's 52 countries, different countries. You start from Cairo, from Egypt, and you go all the way to Cape Town, and it's just absolutely beautiful. So I'm asking you all, please open your mind, talk to me if you want to. You don't have to make a trip to South Africa now, but hopefully you'll think about it in the future and tell your friends about South Africa. Thank you for your time.
Will help me to write and to edit. It was very good to do this adventure, and I learned a lot about it. So I'll start. It's my friend Connie. She was a kindergarten friend. Connie's mother took ill, and for me, time stood still. They moved to Calgary, so far away from me. We met when we were 4. Daily, she knocked at my door. She was smart, she was wise. She had amazing eyes. We had played together in hot or cold weather. Long, gorgeous hair she had. When she left it made me sad. Her smile brightened the room like roses when they bloom. Moving, what did that do? How did that make it through? When her father brought the load to travel another road, did Connie think of me? I wish she could be free. To see me once again, her kindergarten friend. Although we're not in touch, I missed her very much. My dearest friend Connie, deep in memory, I always hold you dear because I know you care. Every day I pray for you, and I hope you make it through. Sorry, we're in class, but I'm doing it for my juniors. And second one, it's about, earlier on, mental health wasn't talked.
And returned to my country. But cancer came on the scene and ruined my hopes and dreams. It was cervical, they say. Right then, I began to pray. My nephew came to my aid when I was really afraid. Without an invitation, he brought me medication. Doctors ordered surgery. That was good enough for me. I had the operation and other medication. Somehow, the cancer was cured as problems around me soared. With no papers to work here, I looked for jobs anywhere. I became a housekeeper, oftentimes a babysitter. I did a little teaching, braiding of hair, and typing. In order for me to survive, I knew I had to strive. When I got my work permit, my spirit lifted a bit. As I enrolled in night school, upgrading my skills was cool. I got my landed status and was able to adjust. With the great luck that was sent, away to college I went. It was like a sweet aroma when I gained my diploma. I got a job soon after, and I felt a lot better. And my other point that I'm going to read is about Alzheimer's. A glimpse of Alzheimer's. I have noticed a change in her. Tell me, how can I help her? Where is her reality? This is a calamity. Hallucinations, they say, as memories fade away. I wish I could close the door by finding her a cure. I really can't understand just why she was dealt this hand. This is hard for me to bear, and to me it brings a tear. There are things she's saying, there are things she's hearing. It's such a scary feeling. Is it Alzheimer's winning? Afraid to stay in her home, doesn't want to be alone. She thinks someone is knocking, and in her house they are hiding. I'm broken-hearted for her. As her sister, I wonder if I will meet the same fate, or will mine be early or late. Faces she can't remember, places erased forever. Must be an awful feeling to be hallucinating. What's happening in the brain that makes people feel insane? Alzheimer's, please go away. Don't need you here another day.
I'll just continue, and as I read, I want you to, sometimes when we write, sometimes the words that is on paper is not actually the things that you're going through, but the words does bring it out here. It says, transforming. It was the dawning of a new day. My eyes popped wide open when the sun shone brightly through the window blinds. I saw white clouds and the blue sky. It was a marvelous sight to see. It was awesome, with a clear design of a family of birds floating in rhythmic patterns. In amazement, I moved my head side to side to get a better glimpse of the beautiful birds. It took my breath away. I felt alive and joyful, just ready for the day ahead. When quickly and quietly, my surroundings were filled with darkness. I was afraid and felt alone. Suddenly, a heavy downpour of rain came gushing from the skies. I could hear the pounding on the roof, the howling of the wind. I saw 3 branches swaying. There were lightning and thunder, making percussive and rhythmic sounds. I felt so afraid, terrified, and helpless. I don't want to be alone. A calmness came over me. Then I recalled, as a child of God, I am never, never alone. God is with me, and He will protect me. Therefore, I will not be shaken, for God is right beside me. That was a little bit abrupt, but nevertheless. The other one is my experience. opened my eyes to the brightness of the morning sunlight, I felt warm and comfortable from the radiance, and with the softness of my Egyptian cotton sheet as it embraces my body. I thank God, my Heavenly Father, for giving me this new day. There was such a quietness and peace that filled my mind. I felt contented. I gazed at the mirror on the wall. In the stillness, I saw my reflection there and continued to stare a little while when a playful feeling came over me. So I wiggled my lips for fun. I shaped my body. Then I smiled and took a deep breath. I held it for a while, then I exhaled. What a feeling! I felt protected from the cares of this world. I felt motivated and excited for this new day already ahead of me. Blessed with new grace, new thoughts, renewed strength, but most of all, new opportunities. It was then I visualized the verse in Psalm 118:24 that says, "This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." Thank you, God, my Heavenly Father, for this majestic and beautiful day. Thank you.
Commençant dedans et irradie dehors. If only I could reach inner peace, coming from within, my peace will shine out. I tried to silence my mind. I hope our light can bring back hope in this life. Si tu cherches la paix, commençant dedans et irradie dehors. Si tu cherches la paix, commençant dedans et irradie dehors. Lorsque je cherche le silence, c'est comme si une tempête se calme, et le tonnerre devient beaucoup plus modéré. Je cherche la paix dans mon monde intérieur. Si tu cherches la paix, commençant dedans et irradie dehors. When I search the silence, it's like a storm within me. When I search the silence, it's like a storm coming down. The thunder becomes much more subdued. I'm looking for peace in my inner world. Si tu cherches la paix, commençant dedans et irradie dehors. Si tu cherches la paix, commençant dedans et irradie dehors. The light of the divine is like the sunshine, brighter and inside. You feel like a light, soothing and calming, strong and nourishing. Oh, it's like a melody that makes you fly, that sets you free. Welcome to the Lord. aussi. Quand sa lumière abonde, le présent revit, l'avenir fleurit. Oh, ce qu'il veut pour nous, c'est d'être heureux, de briller de mille feux. Laisse parler ton cœur, laisse-lui parler ta c'est dans l'intérieur. Welcome to